Discover Kazakhstan as a new strategic location at the crossroads of Europe and Asia. Develop and grow your business in the leading logistics, trade and business hub. Invest in a country with a great business climate, robust legal system, tax regime and advantageous investment incentives. Employ a well-educated, highly skilled and multilingual workforce. By investing in Kazakhstan, you invest in the largest economy of the region, where the growth and prosperity of your business will always be our key priority. Invest in Kazakhstan. Seize the best opportunities in the heart of Eurasia.
Wonderful. So I know that James is ready. If we do not hear from Birjan in the next 3 to 4 seconds, can we please unmute James and let James Martin present? Okay, can we unmute James, please?
Can you hear me?
James, we can. How are you?
Well, let me start off by saying that I come from the same country as you, Northern Ireland. I've spent most of my time growing up in Sweden, and I now live here in Nur Sultan, and I think winter is much more beautiful than summer.
I like you already. So I look forward to seeing you in Nur Sultan.
Thank you. How long do I have, please?
You have got, let's give you 3 minutes.
Okay. Herr Ambassador Sven Olof Karlsson, colleagues and friends from Kazakhstan, let me say what a privilege it is to be here representing something as close to my heart as the Northern European Business Meeting. What I will touch upon very, very briefly is the role of AIFC in de-risking investment and facilitating both investment and your participation and presence in Kazakhstan. Very quickly, the AIFC Financial Center is all about de-risking your investments. It's all about how we were established as an international center in order for you to access not only the investments underlying in Kazakhstan, but also the wider Central Asian region. We've been set up with de-risking in mind with regards to, for instance, we have UK principled law, so that when you set up and establish your company, you'll be treated fair and equitably in a transparent manner. We have our International Arbitration Center, which is designed to mediate and to enforce judgment accordingly. It's very important to realize that should you establish under the AIFC jurisdiction, that any decisions made are enforceable on Kazakhstan domicile and also internationally, which is a difference than in the Republic of Kazakhstan. However, it's very important to realize what we actually do is work as part of the government of which we are. We have a mandate to drive investment into Kazakhstan. And my entity that I have, which is called the AIFC Business Connect, of which I'm Chief Executive Officer, as well as being Chief Investment Officer of the AIFC. It's very important that we do 3 main areas for you to be aware about, which is all about de-risking your investment. First of all, we work with sourcing the deals. We work very, very closely with KazInvest and the other agencies. And what we do with the great work that KazInvest does is we add another layer of international standard deal verification to make sure that everything is up to what you expect to understand a deal is real and an investment is bankable. Bankable is key. We then work with all the ministries, such as the colleagues which have been on for the Ministry of Energy and closely with the Ministry of Agriculture, to see how we could then potentially de-risk the project further to you by co-investment. It's all about co-investment with domestic funds. And once we have a project that's bankable and potential co-investment from domestic agencies, we also work closely with the supranationals, ADB, EBRD, AIIB, etc., to understand if they will invest in a project, and only then will we bring it to the attention of you as an investor. So it's about de-risking, but understand as well in summary that not only can you de-risk through the law and co-investment, but it's about coming through AFC to de-risk through projects that are real, but also ones that you can then come and access further and to invest further through structured products that we have, which will give you financial viability. On top of that, you're still able to use all the co-investments which the Vice Minister of Energy, for instance, was talking about, all the co-investments that you can still get onshore, you can get by accessing through through the AAFC. And then finally, on top of that, what we're doing now is we are in the process of working with Parliament to implement a strategic investment agreement. And that is designed to give you favorable terms to strategic investors based on certain parameters, which will give you stability for investing in the future. And then finally, if you want to set up as a participant within the AAFC, we have teams that will enable you to do that with our international standard regulator, and my team can help you support with documents. But from my personal opinion, I'm looking forward to working closer with the Nordic embassies, and thank you very much for your help and look forward to further conversations. Thank you.
Mr. Martin, wonderful. Thank you. We are now going to have a quick video once again from Invest Kazakh. So let's show that.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of KazInvest, I am pleased to welcome you today at the first Kazakhstan Northern Europe Investment Roundtable. This year, such online events have become a tremendously useful platform for building networks of fruitful business cooperation. As has been already noted today, there is a great potential for enhancement of investment cooperation between Kazakhstan and the countries in Northern Europe. Indeed, our country offers vast investment opportunities across various sectors, and the global community has been taking notice. Since 1991, the FDI inflow in Kazakhstan exceeded $350 billion United States dollars. Kazakhstan implements large-scale reforms aimed at diversifying the economy and creating favorable conditions for business and investment. Thanks to the government's ongoing systematic approach on reforming legislation, the country has ranked 25th in the World Bank's Doing Business last year. To ensure further economic growth, the government will continue to pursue a policy of attracting investments. We see definite scope for expanding our business and investment links with Sweden, Norway, Denmark, and Finland. As you know, one of the key advantages of Kazakhstan is favorable geographical position between the major markets of Europe and Asia, which predetermines significant transport and logistic potential. Currently, the shipment transit time through Kazakhstan is about 12-15 days, which is 3-4 times faster than by sea routes. Kazakhstan has direct access to the market of more than 500 million consumers, including the countries of Central Asia, Western China, and the countries of the Caspian Basin. Besides, Kazakhstan is one of the most important players in the Belt and Road Initiative. Kazakhstan adopted measures to ensure investors' protection at the highest level. We have developed multiple platforms to communicate with effectively solve arising issues. Firstly, we need to mention the Foreign Investors Council chaired by the President of the Republic of Kazakhstan. The Coordination Council and the Council on Improving the Investment Climate have been established under the chairmanship of the Prime Minister. Additionally, the launch of Court and the IFC and the International Arbitration Center is an important initiative to ensure the rule of law and investors' right protection. As such, investors can operate in favorable conditions with the support of effective institutions. Our incentives play an important role in attracting and retaining investors. The government actively supports investors in various priority sectors, including agribusiness, infrastructure development, petrochemical industry, mining, metallurgy, and many others. Investors operating in the priority sector have an opportunity to sign an investment contract with the government that provides tax exemptions, subsidies, and land plot. In accordance with the global best practices, Kazakhstan launched 13 special economic zones that provide turnkey infrastructure and a wide range of investment preferences. Within these special economic zones, the government provides comprehensive support for investment projects that includes fiscal incentives, such as various subsidies, tax exemptions, and the non-fiscal incentives, such as free plot of land and infrastructure. On top of that, we have 24 industrial zones that offer investment and access to established infrastructure and the digital networks. In Kazakhstan, investment attraction is collaborative efforts of the central government, state-owned organization, and local executive bodies. The investment support in Kazakhstan consists of three levels: external, central, and regional. In line with global best practices, the government of Kazakhstan has established KazInvest, an investment promotion agency, acting as a single negotiator on behalf of the government. We provide full range of services to support investors on the one-stop shop principle. KazInvest harbors a broad range of competencies in project management and consultancy. Our experts have industrial and regional specialization and provide consultation on all investment issues in Kazakhstan, such as identifying projects, selecting project sites, local partners, obtaining various permits and investment preferences. We assist in establishing links and matchmaking between local suppliers, companies, and foreign investors. To provide service to investors in timely and efficient manner, we have a network of foreign representatives in the priority countries and local offices in every region of Kazakhstan. Basically, our main task is to ensure smooth and clear implementation of investment projects in Kazakhstan. In KazInvest, we also place particular emphasis on assisting local partners to find foreign investors by preparing investment proposals. Working closely with the government representatives, international consulting firms, and local businesses, we develop investment proposals for flagship projects. Currently, there are over 100 investment proposals that we offer to investors who are looking to invest in Kazakhstan. The investment proposals include a business plan, financial model, feasibility study, and project structuring. The list of investment proposals helps investors to navigate through the vast opportunities that Kazakhstan has to offer. During today's challenging time, provision of all required support to investors is our utmost priority. We strongly believe that our natural advantages, as well as public institution and investment climate formed in Kazakhstan over the past decades, will ensure a stable, long-term result and mitigate the effects of the crisis. In Kazakhstan, you will find comprehensive support for successful implementation of business initiatives and investment opportunities. And the KazInvest has the honor to become your reliable partner on your road to success. I would like to wish all participants and the panel speakers an excellent and fruitful discussion. Thank you and stay safe.
Thank you, Birjan. The next word is given to Yerzhan Turkishev, Managing Director for Logistics and International Cooperation, member of the board of the Sovereign Wealth Fund in Kazakhstan. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Walsh. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'll try to use my 3 minutes wisely. So you've heard some information about opportunities in different sectors in Kazakhstan economy. You've heard some superior framework, legislation, and other regulatory framework from James Martin from AFC. I would like to focus on the Samrup Kazina and the role of this organization, my organization I work for, in becoming your partner if you wish to establish a new business in Kazakhstan or expand your current existing operations. Just a couple of words. So we are a state-owned organization, joint stock company, 100% owned by the government, but acting on a different law on the funds. So we are separate from the government functions. We are purely focused on increasing the profitability and performance of our portfolio companies. We have been established as a state manager of state-owned assets and the largest assets from basic industries like oil and gas, railways, telecom, energy grid operations, and so on and so forth. We're now transitioning to our long-term strategy, and the view is to become an investment holding. As you can see, the strategic portfolio takes the largest part of our pie at the moment. So the role, the plan is to gradually decrease it through the privatization program, which has been introduced by the government back in 2015, and We've been working to prepare the companies for the largest companies for privatization, primarily through the public offerings. We have few companies listed already, but the majority of those strategic assets are still to be privatized. The current market conditions do not allow us to proceed with these transactions right away, so we're waiting for a good timing. But our long-term strategy is still the same. We want to privatize partially those assets and keep just the controlling stake in the most important assets for the government, for the country, while reinvesting the proceeds into creating a commercial portfolio. So this slide just briefly explains that we basically want to see investors and partners in almost every sector except for early stage venture capital or oil and gas sector in Kazakhstan. We are willing to and we'll be very happy to be an equity partner with a very long-term relationship with a strategic investor who is willing to start its business and stay for quite extensive period of time. We have flexibility in terms of ticket size of our investments and focusing on developing the most promising sectors. I think what we will have in common with the two investors is that we want to have commercially viable, profitable, stable, sustainable businesses that will bring not only the profits, but also the economic, social, and other benefits to the economy. We have already started transitioning through participation through the private equity funds. A few of them are listed on the left. We're also working to establish long-term partnerships with large international companies, and we think this is the best way to approach this. As a state-owned organization, we wish to be a solid partner for those who have limited or have never been to Kazakhstan as an investor. So we have 3 representative offices in Moscow, Beijing, and London. London and Moscow would probably be most convenient for companies from the Northern Europe. So with this presentation, we send out to all the participants of this panel session and the forum. Please, you're welcome to contact us through the details that has been listed on the slide. We'll be happy to discuss any opportunity together with you. Thank you so much. I'll stop here.
Thank you, Yerzhan. You have a great presentation and you focused on the main points, and I really appreciate that you just went slightly over your time. So I appreciate that, and I would appreciate if everyone else would take a similar approach. The next floor is given to Joachim Dahl, member of the board of directors in several industries in Sweden, and also the Honorary Council of Sweden. So Joachim, very good.
Thank you very much. A great conference with really helpful information today, and I will make my 3 minutes and I will show you a presentation. One moment, please. Let's talk about the investment opportunities of the Republic of Kazakhstan. Just a reminder or a statement by the Swedish government, it's a special relations between Kazakhstan and Sweden. The Swedish government have priorities Kazakhstan as one of the most important trade and business partners in the future. How can we create opportunities in investment? How can we use the Nordic startup system? The Nordic startup system is one of the most powerful and most best valued in the world. Every success starts with your industrial heritage. If you take a look at the industry of Sweden, we have a close cooperation between the public sector and the market sector. We are an exporting country, and in every time we are thinking globally. And the result of the Swedish industry have created the Nordic startup system. It's the second most important system in the world after Silicon Valley. We have created several unicorns at King, Klarna, Skype, Spotify, etc., etc. And the key factors in the Nordic model is to use a close cooperation between the state and the market. We are using the stock exchange to make IPOs. The exit from the stock exchange are creating new money into the investment system. So it's circling around every IPO or every acquisition, putting in new money in the investment system, and it can create new companies. And how can we use these opportunities in Kazakhstan by the Nordic model? I think Kazakhstan can continue to develop a business climate with a close cooperation between entrepreneurs, business people, the state, and the university. I can recommend Kazakhstan to use the stock exchange for investment opportunities. The stock exchange is a control system with transparency and an invitation to international investors. Let's take a look at two examples how Sweden are using investment opportunities. Where Swedish state-owned pension funds are putting in money in new companies, for example, Spotify. Yesterday, Spotify was 12% up at the Nasdaq in USA, a great value for the Swedish pensions. And a big company in Sweden are using investment opportunities where you invest in small companies to get new technology, new ideas, and new business opportunities. Thank you. It was my 3 minutes to show you about the Nordic system of startups and investments. As a honorary consul, I'm ready to support you and help you with everything you need. Just contact the embassy in Stockholm. Thank you very much.
Tack så mycket, Joachim. Now let me pass the floor to Aslan Kaligazan, Deputy Chairman of the Executive Board of Export Insurance Company, Kazakh Export. The floor is yours.
Добрый день, уважаемые участники бизнес-встречи. Хотелось бы вкратце в выделенное мне время рассказать немножко о экспортно-кредитном агентстве «KazAXport». На самом деле, говорить можно было бы много, но останавливаясь на основных принципах, это основных моментах о нашей компании, это мы являемся национальной компанией, государственной компанией, которая де-факто является экспортно-кредитным агентством, единственным экспортно-кредитным агентством на территории Республики Казахстан и поддерживает экспортные операции и оказывает финансовую страховую поддержку для экспортеров при выходе на зарубежные рынки. Рейтинг суверенный, у нас рейтинг имеется на уровне квазисуверенного, на сегодняшний день BA3, и мы являемся официальным членом Пражского клуба Бернского союза с 2004 года, то есть в тесном сотрудничестве находимся с другими экспортно-кредитными агентствами иностранных государств. В целом, на сегодняшний день, с конца прошлого года у нас выдана государственная гарантия по всем нашим обязательствам, то есть на сегодняшний день мы являемся полноценным экспортно-кредитным агентством Казахстана. На следующем слайде хотел бы рассказать о том, что в наших результатах на протяжении последних 3-4 лет мы ежегодно увеличиваем наш объем поддержки для экспортеров, расширяем наши финансовые инструменты, финансовые продукты, которые у нас имеются. География экспорта, то есть достаточно разнообразна. Помимо ключевых для нас экспортных рынков России и Центральной Азии, то есть имеются и дальнее зарубежье, куда поддерживают разовые контракты, в том числе и экспорт услуг, достаточно новая развивающаяся сфера экспорта в Казахстане. То есть уже те компании, которые наработали определенную репутацию и опыт по оказанию услуг в Казахстане, то есть это строительство железных дорог, проектирование. То есть на сегодняшний день оказываются такие услуги и для зарубежных партнеров. То есть если посмотреть по отраслям, то основная, конечно, отрасль, которая у нас на сегодняшний день востребована, это и активно экспортируется, это пищевая промышленность. Это я говорю только про обработанный экспорт обработанных товаров, и сельхозпродукции, не говоря о нефти, газе и металлах. То есть на следующем слайде вы можете посмотреть, это тот инструментарий, который у нас есть на сегодняшний день. Здесь мы ничего нового не изобретали, то есть это те инструменты, которые имеются в арсенале у любого экспортно-кредитного агентства, будь то Сачи, Атрадиус, там, Олер Гермес и прочие экспортно-кредитные агентства. То есть на любом этапе экспортного цикла для экспортеров мы предоставляем такие виды услуг. То есть это на самом деле те проблемы, с которыми сталкиваются современные компании в Казахстане, современные экспортеры, которые планируют выйти на зарубежные рынки. То есть это и пополнение оборотного капитала, и предоставление страховки и гарантий для зарубежных покупателей казахстанских товаров, кредитование зарубежных покупателей казахстанских товаров. То есть и страхование риска экспортеров от неплатежа со стороны иностранного контрагента. То есть весь спектр услуг на самом деле можно расписывать и говорить о нем очень много, но их на сегодняшний день у нас 18 инструментов различных. То есть и страхование аванса, страхование там, отсрочки платежа и прочее, прочее. Помимо этого мы на сегодняшний день развернули в странах приоритетного направления по экспорту, мы развернули сеть наших представительств, которые занимаются на сегодняшний день содействием казахстанских импортеров в поиске потенциальных покупателей, то есть информирование об инструментах Казахэкспорт и оперативное взаимодействие с банками-партнерами данных государств. Это страны Центральной Азии, Россия, Китай. То есть на сегодняшний день данные представительства занимаются также и претензионно-исковой работой, то есть возможностью снижения страховых сумм, то есть ведется определенная работа. То есть здесь хотелось бы отметить, что основным направлением по взаимодействию с экспортно-кредитными агентствами европейских стран мы видим такое направление, когда, допустим, казахстанская компания приобретается оборудование из какой определенной европейской страны под страховку, гарантию, допустим, Казахэкспорта и экспортно-кредитного агентства данного государства. То есть здесь мы имеем возможность перестраховать часть риска на себя, либо наоборот передать в перестрахование это экспортному кредитному агентству иностранного государства. То есть в этом случае мы видим для нас пользу в том, что компания казахстанская, получив это оборудование, начинает экспортировать и на данном оборудовании производить товары и экспортировать их за рубеж. В этом мы видим наш мандат. И реализация, допустим, какого-то промышленного оборудования со стороны европейской страны, это уже будет входить в мандат экспортно-кредитного агентства данной страны. То есть, спасибо за внимание. То есть, если будут вопросы, особенно визави, то есть таких же экспортно-кредитных агентств стран Северной Европы, то есть мы готовы ответить. Спасибо.
Thank you, Mr. Kaligazan. I give the next word to Martin Steringa, country analyst for Kazakhstan of the Swedish Export Credit Agency.
Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to speak at this forum. Of course, we would like to see more exports coming to Kazakhstan from Sweden. So, of course, we would like to be part of this kind of forums. Just a couple of words about EKN. So we're the equivalent of Kazakh Exports. We were founded in 1933, and we issue export credit guarantees in order to support Swedish companies. We have about 140 employees, and we are present in 152 countries. And basically, we follow the Swedish export companies wherever they go. We are backed by the government of Sweden, which has a AAA rating, which means that we have a very high risk appetite in general, and we're a complement to the private insurance companies. And typically, we can take on more risk and offer longer tenors in general. About Kazakhstan, we see Kazakhstan as a fairly good risk to have in our books. We rate Kazakhstan 5 out of 7, where 7 is the highest risk. And to us, transfer risk is very important. So the ability to transfer currency from Kazakhstan to hard currencies. And there we see that the low debt to GDP level, the flexible exchange rate, for example, as key points that we find very positive. And we also noticed that the Kazakhstan has done fairly well in the COVID crisis, and that is, of course, thanks to the big sovereign wealth fund that we see as a very positive thing. In terms of Swedish exports, we would like to see more exports coming to Kazakhstan. We think there's a good match actually between the Kazakh economy and the Swedish export offer. We have a lot of Swedish companies in offering mining equipment, we have them in the construction industry, transport sector, and also agriculture. So there should be a good match between the Swedish companies and the Kazakh economy. We also have a very big portfolio in Russia. So if companies are able to find their way to Russia and make very good export transactions there, we see no reason why they should not be successful also in Kazakhstan. And during the COVID-19 crisis, ICANN is ready to support. We have actually stepped up our support during the crisis. We have a high demand for our normal products, and we also introduced a couple of COVID-related products in order to be able to support the Swedish companies through this crisis. So thank you very much. Looking forward to questions, comments, and you can always email us if you have any questions after the forum. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin, and thank you for sticking to your time. I appreciate that. I now give the floor to Dinmuk Hamid Absatarov, CEO of management company of the Special Economic Zone, Kyrgyz, an international center for border cooperation in Kazakhstan.
Добрый день, уважаемые участники конференции. Я хотел бы поблагодарить организаторов, поблагодарить всех участников, а также модератора за представленное слово и эффективность наших взаимоотношений. Сегодняшний деловой мир требует все больше способности оперативно отвечать на динамичные изменения, чем когда-либо. Среди их условий, в которых оперируют как правительственные, так и частные организации, меняется изо дня в день. Наше восточное соседство крупнейшим рынком КНР выгодно выделяет перспективное международное сотрудничество с другими странами. Страны Северной Европы в этом отношении занимают особую роль, выдающиеся примеры диверсификации своей экономики. Ну, если перейти в Международный центр приграничного сотрудничества «Харгос», на сегодняшний день реализует плоды межправительственного соглашения между Казахстаном и Китаем в виде прогрессивной среды, способной обеспечить необходимые условия, великолепную инфраструктуру для динамичного развития бизнеса на своей территории. Казахстан на сегодня занимает 25-е место в мире по рейтингу легкости ведения бизнеса и в этом направлении наращивает ежегодно свою работу. Первый слайд. Преимущество НЦПС «Харгос». Международный центр приграничного сотрудничества «Харгос» представляет собой уникальную трансграничную зону на границе Казахстана и Китая с безвизовым режимом и беспошлинной торговлей, комплекса экономического, производственного, туристического и культурного сотрудничества. Хотелось бы коротко отметить основные преимущества и отличия специальной экономической зоны МЦПС «Харгос». Доступ к рынку Китая и Евросоюз. Второе. Безвизовое нахождение в течение 30 дней на территории МЦПС. Налоговые льготы, предоставляемые участникам СС. Беспошлинная торговля на территории МЦПС «Харгос». Постоянно нарастающий поток туристов. Готовая инфраструктура, обеспеченность. И в этих частях хотел бы немножко остановиться. Доступ к рынкам. Выгодное месторасположение условий функционирования МЦПС «Харгос» открывает большой интерес для введения бизнеса с Китаем, являющийся крупнейшим мировым рынком с численностью населения почти 1,5 миллиарда человек, что в 3 раза больше населения всего Евросоюза и в 7,5 раза больше населения Евразес. Одна из ключевых задач МЦПС «Харгос» – привлечь европейских партнеров для сотрудничества, что также входит в основу программы экономического развития Китая «Один путь, один пояс». Поэтому я бы хотел отметить большой потенциал МЦПС «Харгос» для развития экономического сотрудничества Востока и Запада. Крупнейшая трансконтинентальная автомагистраль Западная Европа, Западный Китай проходит через Казахстан, Россию, Беларусь и другие страны Европы и обеспечивает сокращение срока доставки товаров на сегодняшний день до 2 недель. Это железной дорогой и до 10 дней по автомагистрали Западная Европа, Западный Китай. Безвизовое нахождение на территории. 30 дней безвизового нахождения на территории МЦП способствует стабильному потоку туристов и бизнесменов со стороны всего Китая, стран Евразии и других стран. Вместе с тем, необходимо отметить также, что граждане 57 стран могут въезжать на территорию РГ, Республики Казахстан, без визы, которые также могут посетить, имеют возможность посетить вот эту приграничную территорию МЦПС «Харгос». Безвизовый режим МЦПС «Харгос» позволяет находиться на территории не только с целью туризма или бизнеса, но и с целью постоянной работы, проживания, учебы и лечения. По истечении 30 дней безвизового режима для дальнейшего нахождения на территории МЦПС «Харгос» достаточно выйти из МЦПС и войти заново. Это уникальная возможность на данной площадке организации разных родов конференций, бизнес-встречи, форумов, симпозиумов. Тем самым деловой центр на приграничной территории дает возможность всем бизнесменам эффективно использовать возможности двух стран. Налоговые льготы. В сегодняшний день предусмотрен ряд приоритетных видов деятельности в сфере торговли, оказания услуг, производства и строительства, на которые распространяются налоговые льготы и преференции. В ближайшее время планируется расширить перечень приоритетных видов деятельности и включить в этот перечень виды деятельности в области медицины, образования, привлечения информационных технологий и других областей. Это те области, на которые сейчас Китайская Народная Республика проявляет особый интерес. Это в сфере, которая озвучена. Если к налоговым преференциям предусмотрен корпоративный подоходный налог, освобождение от корпоративного подоходного налога, налог на добавленную стоимость, налог на имущество, земельный налог, таможенная пошлина, плата за землепользование. Товары, возимые на территории МЦПС «Харгос», посещаются под таможенную процедуру свободной таможенной зоны, что предусматривает освобождение иностранных товаров от уплаты таможенных пошлин, импортных налогов, прохождение различных процедур таможенного налога и валютного контроля. Пятый слайд. Беспошлинная торговля МЦПС «Харгос» также по своей сути является зоной беспошлинной торговли, аналогом магазинов duty-free, расположенных в международных аэропортах и на приграничных переходах. Данный факт предусматривает ряд преимуществ для обоих сторон экономической деятельности, как для продавца, так и для потребителя. Туризм и посещаемость, уникальная специфика международного проекта МЦПС «Харгос», подразумевающая особую безвизовую трансграничную зону, где протекают различные бизнес-процессы, а также осуществляется беспошлинная торговля, вызывает большой интерес со стороны туристов Республики Казахстан, КНР и третьих стран. В прошлом году МЦПС «Харгос» посетило порядка 5 миллионов человек в год, а предновогодние даты в день посещают порядка 15 тысяч посетителей. При этом надо отметить Синьцзянь-Уйгурский автономный округ КНР, в котором расположена китайская часть МЦПС, в 2019 году посетила более 200 миллионов туристов из внутреннего Китая. Данные цифры говорят о потенциале и динамике роста трафика туристов из внутреннего Китая и всевозможные благополучия для ведения бизнеса на данной территории. Территория инфраструктуры сегодняшний день МЦПС составляет порядка 609 гектаров. И на сегодняшний день на основной территории МЦПС «Харгос» построены автодороги, расположены инженерные и коммунальные сети, проведены линии электропередач, построены объекты тепло- и электроснабжения. Тем самым площадка «Харгос» готова для ведения бизнеса и строительства бизнес-объектов. В заключение хотел бы отметить, уважаемые участники конференции, Международный центр академического сотрудничества «Харгос» — это не сугубо казахстанско-китайский проект, это проект трансграничное торгово-экономическое сотрудничество, направленный на широкое представительство деловых кругов всего мира. И на сегодняшний день мы всех ждем, приглашаем быть участниками свободной экономической зоны МЦПС «Харгос». Спасибо за внимание.
Спасибо. And now I'm going to give the floor to Sabina Votman, Regional Director of CIS Countries Videometer in Denmark. Can we please unmute Sabina, please? Hey Sabina, can you try again? Can we unmute Sabina, please? I'm just contacting them now, Sabina. There you go. I think you're live. Can we unmute Sabina, please? Sabina, can you try to unmute yourself now, please? Yes, that's just at the bottom left corner. Can I ask the technical team to please unmute everyone and leave Sabina? Sabina, can you try to unmute now, please? Is that a possibility? Still muted. Well, since it is December, I think we now have found the phrase of the year. You are on mute. So it's a nice way to finish up the first meeting. But we'll give Sabina her opportunity to talk. The tech team are just working on unmuting you right now.
Hello.
Yes, Sabina, we can hear you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
Good day. Yes, good day, everyone, and I'm very grateful for this opportunity to present here. I'm myself from Kazakhstan, and I have a great honor to present Danish company called Videometer on this roundtable. So I will try to share my screen, and I hope that will work better than it did with. So does it work? Can you see my screen?
I can see your screen.
Yes. So about briefly about Videometer, it's a company which been established 20 years ago by Danish professors, and what we do, we offer innovative technique combining spectral imaging and machine learning algorithm and AI. So we have partnership worldwide and presented in many countries, and we work with many large companies in different industries. It's food and seed and grain and food security. We work with research centers and top universities of different countries. So by now we executed more than 650, you can see that, imaging projects. And with our technology, we work basically with all kinds of products. So why multispectral imaging? It has a lot of number of advantages as opposed to other methods using some chemical reagents and so on. So Videometer has an unprecedented experience and track record putting our technology for, like I said, wide range of application, like for instance, food security. So we work with our instruments are used by International Atomic Energy and Atomic Energy Agency or International Rice Research Institute for tackling their goals. And like I said, our technology is versatile, it's non-disruptive, it brings rapid results. And actually, in connection with today's roundtable, there is a good example of how Thermoseeds company, which was presenting in the first session, is using seed treatment for seeds to improve seeds qualities. So our technology could further be used to increase and validate the efficacy and homogeneity of such treatment, because with our spectral imaging instruments, you could see much more than human eye can see. Basically, if to speak in a very simple language, our technology mimics the human eye, but goes much more beyond than that. And it has a strong scientific evidence. We have more than 250 scientific papers written about our technology. And just to give a very, very quick example of how it's used, for instance, if we're talking about food security, and in that case, maybe Ministry of Health of Kazakhstan and organizations which are under this ministry could be interested in order to execute the food security legislation. So this is a quick demonstration on how our technology is taught to identify plastic rice in a rice, or our technology is used to identify GMO soybean from non-GMO. Another example is how the purity, the admixture analysis in crops can be fulfilled by our technology. Our technology is highly customized. It's not like a static instrument, so it can bring a very versatile analysis. Today, I'm very happy and honored to give another example that we already started actually to work with a Kazakhstan leading surveying company, which is using on a day-to-day operations exactly this sorting, doing sorting analysis samples. And these are the samples from Kazakhstan, and we are already working for building a model for them. So in terms of seed imaging, again, like I said, we carry a very large and unprecedented expertise in helping to facilitate seed health analysis or seed treatment. So that can be used, for instance, for Kazakhstan to build its seed bank. Instead of buying inexpensive foreign seeds from other countries, Kazakhstan could start to have a strong research base. I mean, we already have that in Kazakhstan, and our technology can be the tools to provide, to enhance all the research which is done by our institutes. So that was a very brief information about our company, and I hope and I welcome you to read more about that, and I hope that we will find some opportunities to cooperate together, and we are ready to answer all the questions, and please see more information about us. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Sabina, and apologies for the technical difficulties.
Yeah, likewise, it's been a bit.
Can I just now say thank you to everyone who has presented today and everyone who's contributed with fantastic questions. We have received many questions for basically all of the participants today, and due to time constraints, I want to get to one of these questions before we move on to the concluding remarks. And I would like to ask this question to Yerzhan Tukushev of the Severing Wealth Fund. And the question is, what are the main business opportunities for Northern European companies for cooperation with Kazakhstan, in your opinion?
Thanks. This is, it's like a question, if only I knew this, I would be a millionaire now. So, of course, first of all, our approach is that we take step from the the competences and experience of our partner. We, as I said, ready to see any opportunities, from any sectors. I think the most promising would be the goods and services that are already exported to Kazakhstan from the Northern Europe. That would be a very good start. Secondly, if the market is large enough for the potential investor in specific sector, I think being a first country on the Belt and Road Initiative, I think the transit China to Europe is also one of the things that could facilitate more of a kind of infrastructural opportunities in different sectors that lay along the Belt and Road Initiative and road to Europe. I'll stop here because it's difficult to kind of tell the exact sector.
Thank you for that. Dear participants, let me give you the closing remarks of Mr. Sven Olof Karlsson, the Ambassador of the European Union to Kazakhstan.
Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers for this very rich exchange of views and information. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and its investment committee, KazInvest, and obviously all the participants, both here in Nur-Sultan, in Stockholm, in Copenhagen, in Oslo, and in Helsinki. We have had a very wide exchange of views. We have covered a great deal of sectors, everything from fish farming and agriculture to transport, minerals, metals, energy, renewables, tourism, and ICT sector, scientific research, just to mention some of them. But I think it's clear that there is a lot of potential on both sides. And if I allow myself, being a Northern European myself, but nevertheless widen the scope a little bit and take the broader European perspective, I would like to remind that we are, the European Union, actually the world's main provider and the top global destination of foreign investment. And collectively, we are also, all the 27 member states, the biggest investor taken together in Kazakhstan. And obviously, we do hope, all of us, that investment flows, which were to some extent disrupted by the pandemic, will recover and help Kazakhstan to achieve its ambitious development goals. By contributing to economic growth, job creation, and integration in global value chains, foreign investment tends to benefit host countries as well as home countries. And we very much welcome the renewed effort by Kazakhstan to improve conditions to attract new European investors, including from the Nordic countries, as well as efforts to retain and expand existing investments. In that context, I would like to recall also the major reforms presented by President Tokayev in September, which will lead to concrete changes that will improve the investment climate further and favor the general business environment. And I think there is a number of areas where further improvements have been recommended by respected international actors such as the OECD. And I think recommendations which the international business community share to a very large extent. So I think this could be a good opportunity to just mention them. They are horizontal in nature, and I won't even try to summarize the discussion which has taken place in all these different spheres and sectors that we have been touching upon, but a few more horizontal remarks. First, to make the economy green and to cut back the dependence on oil, gas and coal. Kazakhstan will continue to be an important exporter of fossil fuels, but we also heard from the Ministry of Energy earlier today that there is a concrete and ambitious plan to also develop renewables and to orient the economic recovery towards a green recovery. Digitalization has been mentioned. We had an interesting presentation on communication and information technology. Increased digitalization is also an overall direction which is very much recommended. We heard about privatization, and indeed OECD has also stressed the importance of reducing the footprint of the state in the economy and to develop the private sector, in particular small and medium-sized enterprises. Further, to abandon special legal frameworks for state-owned enterprises at the expense of the private sector, exceptions to national treatment, open up protected sectors to competition. Improvement in the rule of law, transparency and trust in local courts and arbitration, to resist the temptation of protectionism and work together to reduce barriers to trade and to improve the connectivity. Strengthen administrative capacity and expertise, and last but not least, to improve transparency and enforcement of competition law. And from the European Union side, we are interested in further engaging with Kazakhstan on all these reforms. The Enhanced Partnership and Cooperation Agreement, which entered into force earlier this year, our ongoing and planned cooperation programs enable us to carry out a regular dialogue, exchange best practices, and to share expertise in these priority areas. And crucial, in my view, is the implementation of the provisions of the agreement that affect business and investment. In particular, I have in mind the non-discriminatory access to markets, favorable regulatory framework for investing and doing business, protecting and fair treatment of investors, and access to justice and developed arbitration. And I'm confident that together with our investment, Nordic members and partners of the European Union can bring a wealth of relevant experience and expertise to Kazakhstan. From the EU side, we are already supporting this through the funding and operation programs in Kazakhstan and in the wider region of Central Asia. From the EU delegation in Kazakhstan alone, we manage a project portfolio worth more than 100 million euros dealing with economic and private sector development, environment, climate change, and water resources management. And further on, higher education, research and health, rule of law, security, and human rights. Looking ahead, we see great potential for enhancing our cooperation with Kazakhstan and the Central Asia region on tackling the climate change challenge and working towards attaining the 17 globally endorsed Sustainable Development Goals. Cutting-edge industry and services that can ensure the introduction of best available techniques will be essential to realize these goals. The European External Action Service and the Commission are now preparing a so-called Team Europe initiative in support of the implementation, the effective implementation of our bilateral agreement, and we do this in close cooperation with the member states of the European Union and with international financial institutions. We expect this initiative to be the flagship program that will shape our cooperation for the coming 7-year period and make a decisive contribution to Kazakhstan's transition to a green economy model and further strengthening of the legal framework and the rule of law. Thank you so much for your attention, and once more to the organizers and all the participants, and for allowing me to contribute with some closing remarks. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Mr. Ambassador. To learn more about the investment potential of Kazakhstan and download the list of investment proposals, you can visit KazInvest website. If you have any questions, you can also submit your request via the website at www.invest.gov.kz. So in conclusion, I would like to sincerely wish all the participants of the roundtable great success and express my confidence that today's event will give impetus to intensify economic cooperation as well as outline new opportunities and prospects for partnership between business circles of our states. Business people need to use all available opportunities for business development and strengthening mutually beneficial partnerships. I wish you all success in this direction. Thank you for your attention, and thank you all for your participation. Have a lovely evening and a lovely afternoon.